Tuesday night, IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris. The Eagles were successful in Brazil. They defeated the Green Bay Packers. It was very similar to the first 10 wins they had last year. Bobby and I will break everything down. We'll talk about what's going on with the Phillies. They're playing the Tampa Bay Rays tonight. Ranger Suarez on the mound. We'll get into it all as soon as we come back. We'll have a few commercials, and we'll let you know where you can contact us. Be right back before you know it.
IE Sports Radio fans, this show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, single-A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all-brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet.
Hey there, IE Sports Radio fans. Be sure to check out our sponsor, Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations and you're looking for that extra special touch? Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or a friend and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps for your invitations, letters, and gifts. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. You can find them on Instagram at sealthedeal_wax stamps and on Facebook, Seal the Deal Wax Seals.
For the last 10 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, make sure to check out our daily updated website at iesportsradio.com. At iesportsradio.com, you can see our daily show schedule and check out all of our show pages with personal bios to learn a little bit more about each of our awesome hosts. In addition to our show pages, you can catch the IE Sports Radio blog, Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month page, and our merchandise shop including t-shirts, tank tops, caps, long sleeves, hoodies, and more. For now over a decade here at IE Sports Radio, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and we thank you all for your support and for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports.
Well, from the looks of it, Bryce Harper cannot buy himself a home run. I don't know if you were just watching, Bobby, but that seemed to be almost out of the ballpark, but I guess a fan interfered and they ruled it a double. And they had that situation last night too, where he thought he hit a walk-off and didn't run.
I don't get how Tampa Bay challenged it. They said he could have caught it. If he couldn't, he would have to be 13 feet tall to catch that ball.
It was, if anything, it was going to hit off the top of the railing
and possibly be a triple because both the Tampa outfielders were up against the wall. So the Phillies might have got robbed there out of at least the base.
Well, and with 2 outs and him now on third base, they probably won't get the run in, and they won't. So it's not. You know, we started off with the Eagles, and we'll break that down here in a moment. But boy, I'll tell you what, losing those 2 over the weekend to Miami, just the way the pitching was on Sunday, especially. I mean, they don't have anybody to pitch day 5, and Aaron Nola. I mean, you never know what you're going to get with that guy.
So I mean, they're just so thin at this point. I mean, it's kind of we've compared the season to the Eagles so many times, and it's just like the Eagles heading into the playoffs as well. Same thing. We know they're pretty much they're shot going in. They don't give them much of a chance. Just like the Eagles had no shot against Tampa Bay. I don't give them much of a shot. I mean, it's Wheeler and that's it.
Yeah, and it's another thing where if a pitcher is having kind of an off night, the offense doesn't seem to be able to pick it up. I mean, they got 4 runs tonight. I mean, they had 2 last night. I mean, Cody Clemens saved them with the walk off last night, but 2 runs in a home game against the Rays. I mean, I don't know. I mean, that wasn't Cy Young out there throwing for the Rays. It's not Cy Young out there tonight.
No. I mean, would you see an impossibility of the Mets taking 6 out of 7?
Oh, I expect it.
They played them 7 times, right?
Yes, and I expect it. I just see a team though. The Mets had been a team where, yeah, they spent a lot of money, and it just seemed like they weren't playing that way. But they've caught fire, and we've seen it.
Yeah.
And this has the reverse of 2008 written all over it, where the Phillies stormed back in September to overtake the Mets. And
almost identical. 7 games with 17 left. And what do we have left tonight? 22 coming into tonight, or am I right about that? 22 games remain?
Yeah, I believe so. There's not many at home either.
I know. It's like they're already advertising the last home series of the year against the Cubs. So yeah, there's a lot of road games left.
At this point, with the record of the Phillies, as a fan, and that's all Bobby and I are, just fans, you would like to have that feeling that, okay, this is a team that's going to be in the World Series and possibly compete for it. And we're like, no, this is a team that's going to struggle in the first round of the playoffs. And here's another problem. I mean, we talked about their 5th starter. My goodness, Ranger Suarez cannot be starting anymore either. I mean, he's done. I don't know if it's that he's pitched too many innings. I don't know if he's hurt.
I think he's just too predictable.
Oh yeah, I mean, he has nothing. He has nothing.
It's similar to Walker. It's similar because everything's straight. There's no bite. That ball used to break. He used to get that ball in on right-handers on their hands. Now everything's out over the plate. I mean, it's I hate to say it, but it's batting practice. It's just a 93-mile-an-hour ball over the middle.
It is, and I mean, Kobe Allard coming back up. I don't know what that does. I don't know how to pitch. I mean, him being up and down. I mean, if you get 5 decent innings out of him, that's good. Christopher Sanchez, he pitches well, but on the road, I mean, it's
so what are you going to do if you play a 5-game series and the first 2 games are at home? You're going to save Sanchez for the road?
You can't.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
They will. They will. I mean, this manager has no feel for anything.
No,
none. I mean, and let's just be honest. We've talked a lot about Rob Thompson, and I mean, Rangers just getting hammered. But no, we've talked a lot about Thompson and how we've had problems with him. At this point, the man is just a puppet on a string for Bryce Harper, because Bryce Harper should be benched for what he did last night.
Yeah.
Simply put, I don't care.
Yeah. It's the first time you saw Thompson actually react to it in real time and show his frustration.
But what
he didn't do anything about it. Right.
He ain't gonna do anything about it.
Right.
And it was what I posted earlier. It's just become frustrating because Harper was wanting either more years, which means more money. He wanted that at the beginning of the season. And then you get into this situation where here they are battling to try and win the division for the first time in a long time. And he hasn't hit a home run in a month. And there last night, he wanted a moment to say, look at me, look at me, look at me. He was standing there watching the ball.
It was too low. What do you think? That ball had no chance of going out. It was a line drive. I don't know what he was watching.
And we've seen him these years, and we've seen him play amazing. But then again, for $330 million or whatever his contract was, he probably should play well. But boy, it's just become frustrating. And a lot of the criticism about him being about himself, I've always, just put that on the back shelf and not thought that was really what was going on. But here recently, I mean, like I said, especially with the fact that there's been no home run in a month, why did he think he had that one?
Right.
I'm not complaining that he's not hitting the ball out of the ballpark. I get that there could be some injuries, you can be banged up or whatever. But if you know that's your situation, as the Rays are going to tie the game here, I don't understand why Ranger's in there. He's given up at least 10 hits tonight. So
it's terrible. It's terrible at this point. I mean, he's lost it. I mean, for a guy he's the exact opposite of how good he was to start the season. He started the season, he was Cy Young, and now it's just turned into total opposite.
And I can post this too, but I noticed there was problems with him on the 6th of July, and I posted he had 10 wins on the 6th of July. I posted he won't get 15.
He won't. He only got 2 more since. So the team they're playing tonight, they're playing the Tampa Bay Rays, right? So last night they put a graphic on the screen that said "Floundering Rays." So that's in reference to the fish, correct? That they're the Rays.
Yeah, a devil ray, yeah.
But they're no longer that. See, I looked into it. I had a thought. I looked at their jersey and saw the sun ray on the middle of the jersey. They're no longer the devil rays or a ray that has anything to do with a fish.
Correct.
They're called Tampa Bay Rays in reference to the sun. Did you know that?
Yes.
You didn't know? Okay.
Yes. I don't know if.
Well, obviously, the person running the Phillies TV last night had no idea because he put that graphic up.
I'm not sure if, because I really liked the name originally, the Devil Rays. I thought that was cool. I thought it was a cool logo and everything. But
the history was they wanted to be called the Stingrays. That was the name of the team, and then they got a call from a lawyer from a Hawaii minor league team or a Hawaii minor league affiliate that was called the Stingrays, and they had a copyright on it. Oh. And how do you get a copyright on an animal?
It's a good question.
Right, that's what I'm saying. There's tigers, there's giants in both sports. The New York Giants didn't call San Francisco and say you can't call them that.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. There's Cardinals in college football and there's Cardinals in pro football.
Yeah, there's Jets in hockey. There's Jets in football.
I got to think that they probably wanted money, and the Tampa Bay didn't want to pay it.
Well, here we are. It's in the top of the 6th inning. It's 4-4. They have a runner on third with less than 2 outs, and he still has Ranger in there. That shows you what's going on with the bullpen. And I'm sorry. I mean, a lot of people gave me some criticism or whatever, but Carlos Estevez is just a right-handed Alvarado.
Yeah, he's another guy that's never been good. I don't know what people expected. Look at his numbers. He's like a 4.5 ERA for his career. He's not a good pitcher.
So the issue is Dave Dombrowski did nothing to improve this team at the All-Star. Nothing.
As usual. Afraid to give up prospects.
But prospects are not
prospects.
But Bobby, it's prospects they're not going to bring up.
Right. They're not going to use them here anyway. So what are you saving them for?
Guys they traded Gregory Soto for were making starts over prospects who were supposed to be major league pitchers.
Well, they thought this Seth Johnson guy was going to be the next big thing. They bring him up and he gets rocked. I mean, it's just they have no feel for that. Like you said, they can't create a minor league system. It just seems like anymore. So why not trade these guys for proven major leaguers?
Mick Abel can't get a start.
I know. I don't understand it. They don't want to start the clock. Come on.
And look, they've said, and waited on Andrew Painter. He had the surgery. He's thrown some pitches. He's looked okay. I have nothing that I can go on to say whether Andrew Painter is going to be successful.
You know exactly what's going to happen with him. He's going to come back next year. He's going to pitch one good game, then he's going to feel something in his arm.
Well, I hope not, but I don't.
You know it's coming.
But here's the thing. You don't know how he's going to be in the majors mentally. You don't know how his body's going to respond, like you said, to the surgery. You don't know what's going to happen when he starts getting hit in major league games. I mean, and
he won't be in the majors for a long time.
He's probably a guy, like you said, he'll look like us. He'll look like I'm trying to come up with somebody else or whatever, Randy Johnson or.
I was going to go out on a limb. I was going to say that I don't think he's going to pitch for the Phillies. I think you'll see him pitch for another team.
Yeah, I could see that.
Just like what's his name that they traded to Miami, Sixto Sanchez.
Oh boy, did his career ever go down?
Yeah. Well, he put a bunch of weight on, and I think they just forgot about him. That team, Miami has a different pitcher every night, though. It seems like
he got hurt, and then that happened. And I'll tell you what, too. It was like all those years they were waiting on Spencer Howard, and he didn't turn out to be anything either. And
I mean, one more thing about the Phillies minor league. What they've done with Scott Kingery is an absolute disgrace that they've kept him in the minors all these years.
And they're never bringing him up again. Why didn't they move him?
Right.
I don't care if you moved him for a curveball machine.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, granted, he did make the money. What would he end up? What did he get? 7 years, $28 million? Is that what it was?
It was a lot. Yeah, something like that. It was a lot.
I mean, he made the money. He played out the whole contract. I actually root for him. I hope he goes somewhere and succeeds. I really do.
It actually may have been more than that. It may have been 7 years at $7 million a year.
Was it $49 million?
I'm not sure, but some of these guys, though, that they've brought up, you would have thought one time you'd bring him up to get a swing or something. But I guess the issue is if he comes up and he's bad, they're going to take heat for that. If he comes up and he's good, they're going to take heat for why didn't you bring him up before? So it's just like let him go off into the abyss. I'm just surprised, like in the Sir Anthony trade or Gregory Soto or whatever, his name would have been thrown in there.
True too.
I mean, you've seen from the Angels. I mean, Logan O'Hoppy's played all right, and so is Mickey Moniak. I mean, they're not going to be all stars. I mean, you never know. Anybody can make the all star team, but they're not going to be superstars. But they were guys who the Phillies really didn't have in their plans going forward, and they needed to move on from.
He was a guy they drafted at number 1 that couldn't hit a curveball. He never could hit a curveball, and that's the guy they drafted. Don't you think they could have scouted him in high school and saw that he couldn't hit a curveball? I don't know. He never played college ball, so I mean they were taking a chance on him to begin with.
Number 1 overall draft picks in Philadelphia at times have, oh boy, Markelle Fultz comes to mind, Ben Simmons comes to mind, Mickey Moniak comes to mind. It's just, oh boy, a lot of it.
Embiid wasn't number 1.
No, he wasn't. Well, we'll keep you up to date here on what's going on. It's 1st and 3rd, 1 out, top of the 6th. Orion Kerkering is in. I mean, here's a situation too where Thompson's just every time he goes to the pen, it's Kerkering first. I mean, he's just, I don't know.
He's going to wear these guys out. Come playoff time, they're going to be worn. They're not going to have anything.
And guess what? They're going to be worn out come this Mets series too.
Right.
That's probably going to. That's
the problem when you don't have starters that can go deep in the game, and it's just, you have 2 that can possibly go deep, and after that, it's nobody. I mean, Sanchez is throwing a few deep games in there, but Nola's usually done by 5 or 6, and these 4 and 5 starters that they're mismatching in they're worthless. Every one of them. They had Tyler Phillips give you a couple of good starts, and that was it.
And the amazing thing is Spencer Turnbull. Remember that guy?
Yeah, what happened to him? Where is he?
I mean, first of all, it's another guy who's had a career of being injured.
Yeah.
He got injured, and it was like, well, I guess he's strained I don't know what it was, his lat muscle or something was strained or whatever. This shouldn't be much. He came out the next day and said, nah, I've dealt with this before. I should be fine. And he's nowhere to be found. Alec Bohm has a sore hand. Well, he'll be day to day, but we'll see him maybe late September now.
Romuto's out now too.
Every time the Phillies say something about someone being injured, it's not true.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, well, was Real Muto? I didn't see it. Was it because of that foul ball he took?
I guess they said he'll be back Friday.
How do they know? How do they know Friday?
I don't know. That's what they said.
Stubbs, and I don't even know who that other guy was they called up.
Yeah, who was that guy? Garcia.
Because Marshawn's hurt. So, I don't know who that guy was.
I thought they had another good prospect, a catcher, Gruyan or something like that. Yeah, Devi Gruyan. Every time you go to the minor league report, he was crushing the ball.
Well, I guess they didn't want to start the clock on him either.
Yeah, right.
So, as we turn the page, the Eagles put up 34 points. They won the game. But tell me this didn't feel like one of those first 10 wins last year where it's like, how'd they win that game and this team doesn't look that good?
Yeah, it was the same thing. It was the same thing all over again. That they start off, they look good, then they look bad, then they win. I mean, it's defense just isn't good enough. They can't stop the run. They can't tackle.
That's true. And the defense is going to be a major problem, I think, going forward as I watch the Phillies get out of the inning.
What, double play?
No, there was a strikeout and then a ground ball that Stubbs got and throughout the first. Record that 2-3 put out.
Okay. Well, they're going to win. They win every Tuesday night.
see me.
It's the opposite of last year. Every time we get off the air and we hang up, it's they win the game.
Well, who do we want to criticize? And they'll be the one that'll probably come.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the lineup is horrible looking tonight. I mean, you pick them.
You said about the defense for the Eagles. They did keep them in that game after those early turnovers and keep Green Bay kicking field goals.
Yeah, that was my one praise is that they did get pressure on Jordan Love.
But you can't rely on that going forward. And look, we went over this, and I think Green Bay was the same way. I can't tell you exactly, but this not playing guys in the preseason, they're not ready.
Right.
And
also, I bought a carton of milk today. You know who was on the back of it? Bryce Huff.
Well, yeah. And
where is he at?
Well, apparently there's going to be a America's Most Wanted special on him coming up soon because he is definitely a missing person.
And he robbed the Eagles as well.
Ooh, what? My goodness, did he ever?
He played 40 out of the 77 snaps. He had one pressure, I think, 0 tackles, 0 sacks. I mean,
his name was never mentioned.
No.
Other than the fact
I didn't even know he was on the team. If I didn't, I wouldn't have known by watching the game that he was on the Eagles. I mean, he wasn't even mentioned. Quinyon Mitchell did look good. He looks like he has a little cockiness to him and attitude, so I like the looks of him.
And Saquon Barkley is the savior right now.
Yeah, but you know what's going to happen. You know how that's going to end.
He's going to be injured. I mean, that's
yeah. And they have nobody to back him up. It looks like. I mean, they didn't even put Shipley on the field.
No.
Why would you give Barkley 25 carries in the first game of the year?
You had to because of Jalen Hurts.
Well, you could have used Gainwell.
Well, you could. Yeah, they could have, but it just seemed like it was working. See, that's what we talked about earlier. If Barkley plays well early, they're going to use him up, and either one, they're going to go away from it because they want to be a passing team, or he's going to be banged up and can't play.
Yeah, and he already was banged. Already came off the field.
It's a matter of a situation where the same way in baseball and in all sports, obviously, whoever's managing, whoever's the coach, they got to have a feel for these things. And I mean, plus that whole thing, I just want to make this comment about going to Brazil. To me, I get what the NFL is doing, but it was a disgrace and they're lucky nobody got seriously injured on a field that they should not have been playing on.
Yeah, that was the last thing I thought that would happen would be the field conditions. That was reminiscent of the Eagles Super Bowl game against the Chiefs. It was all over again. Nobody could get their footing. And yeah, I mean, look at the Packers. They almost lost their quarterback for the year. So, I mean, it could have been catastrophic for them. I think the Eagles got out of it pretty injury-free, surprisingly. I didn't hear much from them.
Yeah, hopefully when things come out this week that they are injury-free. I mean, they'll come home and Monday night they'll play the Falcons, who a lot of people were expecting big things from, but I don't think they showed that again. I mean, one game. I mean, okay.
What time is that game against the Falcons?
What's that?
What time is the game against the Falcons?
I don't know, 8:15.
And who's their quarterback?
Yeah, he doesn't play too well.
So you can put that one in the win column for the Eagles.
Kirk Cousins hasn't played too well in a
No.
lot of primetime games. You're right,
No.
and they didn't look. They didn't show up really against the Steelers. That wasn't their game. But yeah, we'll see how this trip affects the Eagles when they come home. You would think with the number of days off and everything, they should be ready to go Monday night at home.
Yeah, I think so.
So there was
I think it's a good opponent to play too. I don't think the Falcons have too much. I think
no.
you
I
shut
hope
down
not.
B. John Robinson. They don't have much after that.
Yeah. I hope not, and I hope
Drake
Hurts.
London.
I hope Hurts isn't the turnover machine that we saw. I mean, I know it's the first game, but still, it just like we said though, and I'm just going over all these things in my head, and there was so much in that game, and here they won the game. They had 34 points, but it's like the bad things are all things we've seen before, and I guess we just got to get used to it. They can't iron them out.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't as bad, but I think the Packers did a poor job at exploiting their weaknesses as well. I mean, they went away from the run. They did a whole drive where all they did was run Jacobs, and the Eagles couldn't stop it. And they didn't stick with it.
And they're gonna face some other teams who are going to want to run the ball down their throat coming up, and
Yeah,
it's probably going to be if teams are able to run the ball against you, you know how that's going to turn out.
well, you know who looked good over the weekend? A team that I didn't think would win 5 games this year. If you can get an over/under on them now, I would take the over. The Patriots. They looked really good. Their defense was one of those defenses where you don't get an inch. You catch the ball, boom, right down. Running backs, bang, right there. There's no room on that deep. They're quick. They're tough. Their offensive line dominated. Rob Stevenson looked good. They don't, they have a quarterback in Brissett that just manages the game. They looked good.
So NFL teams can have good defenses where they make the tackles
Yeah.
on the first attempt.
Every one of them, Christian Gonzalez, they're loaded. They're athletic. They looked good. They shut the Bengals down. They did a nice job.
Well, that there was just a case of the fact that the Bengals don't usually win week 1 and 2. I
know, and they were missing T. Higgins, and Chase was coming off of no training camp. I get that. But the Bengals, I think losing Joe Mixon hurts them as well. They didn't have much in the backfield.
Really, I think that does hurt them, and
Yeah.
I was a little bit impressed with not that they're not one of the better teams, but without Christian McCaffrey, I mean, the Niners really didn't miss a beat last night.
Yeah, I was going to mention that. They put Jordan Mason in, and it didn't matter. So that's what I was saying about the Eagles. Why give Saquon 25 carries when your offensive line is really your strength? You can have anybody with some kind of speed. You open up the holes, you're going to get the yardage, as the 49ers proved. Jordan Mason.
Yeah,
I picked him, by the way. I did pick him in fantasy.
They brought Gainwell in at the end of the first half for the 2-minute drill, and
Well, that's when Barkley was hurt.
it was. It was what everyone thought. Oh, here we go. It was more a hand issue, wasn't it? His hand got banged up a little bit.
I think they called it a stinger.
Yeah, it happens, I guess. And fortunately, he was able to come back in. There wasn't much that over the weekend that really stood out to me. I mean, the Chiefs are the Chiefs. The Browns laid an egg against Dallas.
Yeah, I thought they would put up more of a game against the Cowboys than they did. I mean,
they were favored in the game.
Deshaun Watson's just simply not. He's another guy that's just not the answer. And
I guess
that was a huge mistake getting rid of Mayfield for him.
I guess the Eagles not taking a flyer on him, or taking and sticking with Hurts when a lot of people wanted them to go with him. I mean, that's looking really, really good right now. And instead of going with I'm blanking on his name from Seattle.
Geno Smith?
No. He's with the Steelers.
Russell Wilson.
Yeah, Russell Wilson. I'm sorry. I kept having Russell Westbrook in my head.
Russell Wilson already lost his job.
Yeah, he did.
Without even playing.
Hey, and the Steelers won the game too. So
Yeah.
as I look up now, it's 4-4, top of the 7th, and we got Matt Strom in the game. So, well, I don't
You
know.
get to see my reactions. That's what I normally do when you say these things. When we're not on video, I just sit there and shake my head.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, now everybody can see it. Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot that jumped out over the weekend with the NFL. I mean, some of it. I mean, that game Sunday night, I guess, having the Lions and the Rams on, I guess they were kind of two marquee teams. I mean, it was a good game. I mean, went to overtime. I thought the Rams probably should have been able to win that, but hey.
Well, mention that game not just by itself. All the games together, there wasn't much offense, and I think it was the lowest average per game offense since 2003.
Wow.
Yardage wise, and I think there's a couple factors in that. I think that the defense has really caught up. I think that they've kind of learned what these offenses want to do as far as get the ball to the receivers, and they're really they're covering the pass more than ever. The years past they would take away the run. I think they're willing to give the run up now, those 5-6 yard gains, and stop the big play. And the other thing is the athletes. I think there's more athletes on the defensive side of the ball now. It really is. I know that's not where the money is, but I think in time that could change. These shutdown cornerbacks.
No, I mean,
some big cash.
No, I think you're right. Thank you to everyone who's joined us here on the comment section. Yeah, we're trying to do the best. Thank you for saying have a great show.
Yes, thank you, everybody.
Yeah, and
the other thing is, I think as kids, I think parents are more they tend more to force their kids towards the defensive side of the ball now because they don't want to get hurt. You're a running back and a receiver, you're getting crushed.
Quarterback.
It's less. There's less chance of getting hurt on the defensive side of the ball.
The fourth and short, tush push didn't seem to be what it was before.
I wonder why.
So no
Somebody
Kelsey.
was missing. Number 62 was missing on those plays.
No Kelsey, no TP, huh?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Goodness, that there just even the one where they were trying to do it to put the game away almost gave. I mean, they gave Green Bay another shot because they couldn't handle the snap. I don't know whose fault that was.
I think you're going to have to take the play out of the playbook. It just doesn't work anymore. That's why other teams couldn't do it. It wasn't that it was such a great play. It was the Eagles. It was the personnel the Eagles had that made it a great play.
I guess if you're in a situation where you have the lead, it's 3rd and 1, and you're in midfield or something like that, and you want to give it a shot, go for it. But that used to be automatic. I mean, we saw it fail a few times last year, but you're right. Without
the only time it worked is when Green Bay jumped off sides.
Yeah, and this whole thing. I mean, look. I mean, I understand Jalen Hurts can squat a lot. I understand Dallas Goedert can squat a lot. But would you think?
Do for you?
But the other guys are not 180-pound weaklings on the other side of the ball.
Exactly.
I mean, what you think they don't squat?
I know. Yeah, right. They don't work out.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So that there was a problem. We'll see what's going on with the Phillies. We'll touch on a few other things. We'll kind of get into NASCAR. I didn't see much of the race. Did you?
I did off and on. Yeah, I watched the end and also. Yeah, I saw a little bit. Look, I know what a nice win.
So maybe you'll be able to fill in more than I can. We'll take a break. We have a top 10 coming up too. Philly Sports Talk, Cash and Chris, IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all those sports. We'll be right back.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Davidson.
It's your boy, Dentarius Locke.
And we are the hosts of Fast Break here on IE Sports Radio, where we discuss everything in the world of basketball from prep to the pros.
You guys should definitely check us out, man. Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We got all the basketball information you guys need, so we look forward to you guys listening in.
And please do, because we are the best basketball show on this side of the Mississippi. And please do check us out on Twitter at FastBreakISR. D-Lock, where's our term again?
8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. That gives you guys plenty of time on a Sunday.
Tune in.
Sports fans, do you like teams that are tough, cities that are tougher, and fan bases that are passionate about their teams? How about teams that are historic and stadiums that are iconic? Then you belong in Chicago, and you need to check out Chi-Town Weekly. Join me, Adam Kernan, every week as we keep up with all things Chicago sports. Bears, Bulls, Blackhawks, Cubs, White Sox. We'll cover them all, plus more. The Windy City is always buzzing, and we'll keep you up on all the big games and major stories. So tune in to Chi-Town Weekly every week right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Well, what is up, Carolina Nation? This is John Felipe of the Carolina Cast, of course, the podcast of, by, and for the Carolinas, right here on IE Sports, your direct feed for all that is sports. And I'm reminding you to tune in Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern for the latest in Carolina sports, whether it's the Panthers that keep on pounding, the fly natures of the Hornets, the storming Hurricanes, the battle of the Blues with Duke and UNC, the fight of the Clemson Tigers, or the amazing atmosphere of any Carolina college. I'm talking App State, I'm talking ECU. I've got you covered. Once again, tune in for the Carolina Cast with me, John Felipe, Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's up, sports fans? You're listening to IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I'm your favorite West Coast Wisconsinite, Bernie Bango, and if you're a cheesehead, come listen to my show, Big Cheese Sports, where we road trip around America's Dairyland, previewing, reviewing, predicting, debating, and digging into all that is Wisconsin sports at the college and pro levels. Join me on IE Sports Radio, Sundays at 1 p.m. Central Standard. Bernie out.
No change in the Phillies score. They have a man on first with 2 outs. The Rays are making a pitching change. I don't know if the Phillies can push that run across this inning or not. We'll let you know if they do. And Bobby, one thing we didn't mention was any college football, and Penn State struggling at home against Bowling Green. I mean, they might the 8th seed. I mean, number 8 in the country. I don't think so.
Nah, absolutely not. I mean, it's the same thing every year. They'll beat the teams they're supposed to beat, and then they'll lose to the Ohio States and the Michigans of the world. I don't think any of us will be surprised. The fact that James Franklin's still the coach of the team is absolutely amazing.
He's going to be. He's got tenure, doesn't he?
I don't understand how the boosters accept it. I mean, the guy's criticized more than than Brett Brown was. I mean, than Doc Rivers was. I mean, he's not good. He's a good recruiter, but he's not a good. Maybe keep him as the recruiter, but fire him as the coach. I mean,
yeah, because like you said, it's going to be a situation where they will lose probably to Michigan, they'll lose to Ohio State.
Yeah,
but there's probably another team in there you wouldn't expect them to lose to. Will probably beat them because I mean, given everything,
I hear cheering. Is something going on in the game?
It's first and third, 2 outs. Harper with a single, Turner on third. We'll see.
He couldn't score?
4-4.
Okay. No, I said he couldn't. I thought he was on second. He didn't score on the single?
No, he was on first.
Okay.
He was on first. Let's see who's coming up. Castellanos is up, and he's
over. During the break, I did the math. They've played 144 games. There's 18 games left. If the Mets and Phillies both win tonight, it'll be 7 games to go with 17 games left.
And the Mets are down 5-1.
Yeah, I saw that.
Castellanos is 0 for 3 tonight, so I would expect this to be, if the first pitch is close, he's probably going to ground out the shortstop. would be my guess.
So who's on first? What's on second? Good question.
I don't know.
Who?
Third base.
What? What?
Yeah, I don't know. Third base. So Joey Logano with the win, huh?
Yeah, he's been good.
He has been. He's been really good, and he's run into some bad luck.
Yeah, so he had the luck on his side the other day. I mean, it was a good race. Like I said, though, it's the kind of race where you knew it was going to overtime, put it on with 10 laps to go, and enjoy yourself. I mean, there's no point in watching it earlier than that. It's that kind of track. It's that kind of race. They've made Atlanta into Talladega and Daytona. So it's basically a survival race. Get to the last few laps, and anybody's got a shot. Daniel Suarez had a chance. I thought Ty Gibbs had a really good car. He had a shot at winning. One of these weeks, he's going to win, Ty Gibbs. I promise. He's going to win.
Did that do anything for the playoff standings, what took place on Sunday?
Well, that was the first race of the playoffs.
Yeah, so did it eliminate anybody? Or
not yet. No, they do they do 3 races, and then they go to 12, and then
because this week at 3 p.m. it's the Glen.
Okay.
For the Go Bowling at the Glen.
300.
I don't even see it here.
Is it some weird number like 280?
I don't even see it on there. It's not even listed.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, you'll see a bunch of road course ringers come out for that race, and Shane Van Gisbergen will be the favorite probably.
Well, I'll tell you what though. You look here, it's 2 outs, first and third. Castellanos is down 0-2. He swung at every pitch so far.
So we'll hit a 3-run home run.
Well, that would be nice if it could happen.
They're probably going to stick with the 7 and 17 theme and both lose tonight.
Or he'll just strike out. Yeah, this is not a contending team, right? I'm sorry. It's a playoff team, but it's not a team that's really unless something changes. And Jose Alvarado is coming in.
Yeah, they'll make the playoffs. I think that's a foregone conclusion at this point. They're going to be in the playoffs.
But with Alvarado coming in, that's probably the kiss of death, don't you think?
Yeah, against his former team.
True.
Yeah.
True, against the former team. So,
oh.
Yeah. Anything that you've watched recently, or?
I did. Did I tell you last week? I don't remember. I watched the first 6 episodes of Cobra Kai.
Yeah, you did mention that.
Yeah, that's about it. Been a lot of football the last couple of days.
Yeah, true. A lot of that. The only thing I've kind of watched off and on here recently, I think I mentioned it before, was a show. It's called Cold Case.
Oh yeah,
that was on for a number of years on CBS. It's funny because when it was on, I watched them all. Now you go back and watch them again. It's like, I don't remember.
Right.
I don't remember any of them. And it's one thing I wanted to mention though. That's really, really, really different now, because this time of year it used to be, okay, what's the fall TV lineup? What shows are returning? What shows ended on cliffhangers? There's almost none of that now.
Yeah, it doesn't happen anymore. Yeah, that's true. Even a few years back, you have shows like that. They're just, there's no, what's gonna. I try to remember. I have to remember what happened at the end of the season last year, and Even a couple years back, the show with the airplane, that was pretty good.
Manifest.
And
Yeah. Lost was that way.
it's there's nothing now.
There's shows that have hung on. I mean, Law and Order's hung on. Law and Order SVU. The my favorite, the Wednesday night shows on NBC with the Chicago shows. I like those.
Even what's the other one? 911. Is that done?
No, I mean it actually changed channels. I believe it went from Fox to ABC.
Yeah, it did.
And I think the spinoff of that, I don't know if it's actually spinoff, but another version of it, Lone Star. Yeah, I think that's coming. I think that's coming back. With what went on with the writers' strike and everything, they kind of pushed that back some, and they're going to start it this year. Like I said, SVU will be back. Grey's Anatomy is always on. I mean that show's been on my entire life, it seems.
Right. Did you watch Designated Survivor?
I did.
Yeah, that was a good one. That's on? I guess that's finished?
Yeah, because I watched it on ABC and I watched it on Netflix when they picked it up. But I think after 3 seasons, it was done.
Yeah, and you think once it went to Netflix, they had freedom to do anything they want, and they pretty much kept it the same. They didn't get any more intense or anything. It just stayed the same. No,
and they just kept dragging out the storyline as to who did it and why and who's corrupting the government, and it was well. It's one of those where you watch the first half hour of the show and you're hooked, but then after you've watched 10 episodes, you're like, wait a minute, what's happening? You're like 10 episodes in and you're thinking, I don't know if anything's really happened.
We have a staff request, as you can see at the bottom of the screen here. Bring back NBC's Hannibal.
Well, if you haven't watched it, I would recommend it. And I'm sure the staff would recommend it too. This won't be a waste of your time like The Neighbor.
I'm always looking for something. I'll check it out.
Like you said, The Neighbor was a waste of time.
We have 8 minutes left.
We'll take our second short break. We'll come back with.
No. We're going to skip. We already did it.
Okay.
You missed the pre-show meeting.
I'm sorry.
You weren't in production.
I apologize. It's been one of those days when you go out to your car in the morning and it won't start. That's just not.
That seems to be going around.
It does.
I took my car all the way to PA for them to tell me it needs a part, and it'll be in next week to come back.
And then you have AAA come out and jump it, and then once you turn it off, it won't start again. So the battery's essentially shot on a card. It says 3 years old. So
wow. Well,
let's go. Top 10.
Yeah, and the staff says cars suck. I agree.
Here it is. Go ahead.
Top 10. Yeah, if anybody's in the chat and here's the top 10 and wants to put their guesses, feel free.
Yeah, and it's more of a continuation from last week, but top 10 current NBA players who will be Hall of Famers.
Okay, so we did baseball last week. NBA. All right, we should be able to.
And just as an aside, this is how we do. This is my opinion, and I just sat down and thought of the NBA, wrote out my top 10, and now Bobby's going to guess. And as I always say, I'm not given the category ahead of time, so bear with me. No, and like he did last week, if he comes up with someone different who should be on the list, then that just leads to the conversation. So here we go.
Right on. First comes to mind is Steph Curry.
Number 1. Okay.
2 would be his former teammate, KD.
KD is number 3 on my list.
LeBron James, number 2. Sorry.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Luka.
Not on my list.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he's in now.
He's going to be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I think he already is because it's the Basketball Hall of Fame. It's not the Pro Basketball Hall of Fame. So.
Yeah, true. Just like when I went to the Pro Football Hall of Fame and the XFL exhibit was there, right. I had to take a second look at that and like, oh yeah, right. yes, Luka could be on the list. We'll see if there's someone who I have here who you would think Luka should replace.
Do you have Anthony Davis on the list?
I do not.
He's going to be borderline by the time he's done. He's going to rack up a lot of numbers.
Yeah, he's probably going to be a Hall of Famer. Correct.
Yeah, I think so. You have Klay Thompson.
No,
I think he is. I've had this argument. I think he is.
Yeah.
Same with Draymond Green.
Boy.
They say it because of the winning.
Yeah.
Well, not Dennis Rodman. Who was it? Who was the other guy who got in?
Robert Ory?
Who?
Robert Ory?
No, Ben from Detroit, the Pistons, the rebounder. Ben Wallace.
Ben Wallace.
He made the Hall of Fame. So I mean, that kind of like opens it up for a whole new category of player at that point.
It does. You're right.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'll ask Embiid.
I didn't put Embiid on the list yet either.
Oh, right, I agree. He's not there yet. His numbers aren't there yet. Is his teammate Paul George?
No, I don't have him on my list either. Oh, you know what? I apologize. I do have Embiid. I apologize. I have him number 7.
Not yet. I mean, he only has like 11,000 points.
But I believe he will be. No, and I apologize for that. Yes, Embiid is 7.
Okay. Trying to think who else won championship. Oh, Jason Tatum.
I did not have him on my list. And our old buddy retired. Did you see that?
Who?
Tatum's
Al Horford?
Al Horford, yes. Al Horford.
Oh, wow. Klay Thompson is not a – is this an opinion, Steph?
It's an opinion.
He's going to type back. We're waiting.
Next guess. Yeah, next guess.
That guard from the Knicks, Jalen Brunson's going to eventually be.
Yeah, I mean, he probably will be. Not on the list.
Okay.
There's some obvious ones I think you're missing.
Devin Booker? Oh, Chris Paul. Chris
Paul is on my list, number 8. Correct. Devin Booker led right into Chris Paul. He's going to be in.
Oh, I know. I know he's currently not. I mean, he's still playing, but I mean.
Well, he's going to be on the Spurs.
Oh, yeah.
Paul, that's going to be a little bit different, but a few more. Miami Heat.
Oh, Jimmy Butler?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think he's got the potential to be in.
Yeah, I guess he's been around. He's had the longevity. He's been around a long time. Yeah, I guess so. I guess he is. I mean, it's in the same breath. To Anthony Towns, I mean, he's going to put up numbers for a long time.
He probably will be too.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys. I mean, scoring's not hard to do anymore in the NBA. So,
Denver.
Yeah, Jokic. Yeah.
And let's see. I have one here from the Bucks.
Oh, Giannis, though. Yeah. Giannis, of course.
Then to round this out,
Kawhi Leonard.
Kawhi's number 10. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have a teammate of his.
Teammate of Leonard's.
Yeah.
Oh, James Harden. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, how soon in Philadelphia we want to forget James Harden, but yeah. And like you said, I think out of this list, like you said, maybe Embiid's not there yet.
And Ben Simmons didn't make the list?
Well, Ben Simmons is going to have his own wing in the Hall of Fame.
The Ben Simmons Hall. The Ben Simmons room.
It'll be a broken wing, but
it'll start with his LSU jersey. How he didn't make the tournament.
He's still on the Nets, right?
I guess technically. I mean, was his contract up?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I guess he's still a member of the Nets. And the Phillies still struggling here, 4-4, bottom of the 8th, 1 out. So Alvarado had a clean inning, so that was.
They'll walk it off. They're going to walk it off somewhere.
Probably so. They're going to flip this around this inning, get back to the top of the order. Hopefully, whoever comes in out of the bullpen, I guess it's going to be Ruiz, would be my guess, or because Hoffman was used last night.
Jump for Julia. Ruiz is coming in.
Yeah, I mean that's about it.
Can't wait till he pitches in the playoffs.
See, and that was a question I wanted to ask you. I mean, I was going to wait another week, but since we have a couple minutes here to end, we've gone over this before, but because we've never seen this with the Phillies. If they win the division, they still could play in the first round. Do you want them to keep playing, or do you want them to take a break and do this quote unquote get healthy thing?
Yeah, I the only reason I don't want them to play is because I don't have confidence they'd win. So I guess I have to take the free path to the second round, right? Path of least resistance.
I don't like that when teams have that break and then it's like, well, they're playing simulated games.
I was going to say, don't worry, they'll play an intramural game.
Yeah, and it's like that really, I mean, it didn't work for the Braves. It didn't work for the Dodgers. The only team it really works for.
It didn't, because the team you're going to play was playing playoff intensity baseball, and you were sitting at home.
Yeah, and fortunately, we had been the beneficiary of it for 2 years. I mean, especially that first year. That run they made to the World Series. I mean, there's yes, on paper, but they were good enough. Did they play that way during the season? No. Did they get lucky? Yeah, in St. Louis, and
it all began with a hit by a pitch, and then a Gene Segura hit. I mean, Gene Segura is out of baseball.
Yeah, he just got recently released after being picked up by Baltimore for a little bit, and he's had a decent career. He's probably got some money. He can go on his boat. And
yeah, it's the last I saw. He was on a boat.
Yeah, exactly. He can just go there and have some fun. And yeah, he tried to come back in the Orioles minor league system, but
all former Phillies come back in the Orioles minor league system,
or get traded there. And
there's a guest. Cat right behind you.
As always, I mean, he always makes an appearance. That's Copper, but I call him Mr. Treats.
What's Copper's Twitter? Does Copper have a Twitter? Put Copper's Twitter on the screen.
I don't know. He probably should have one.
You can find me at BobbyCatch215.
I posted a picture of him today on X. So him sleeping with a bunch of stuffed animals on a chair. He just
there you go. Staff sun sighting.
Tough life for him.
There he is.
So we won't be back on before the Eagles play the Falcons, but we'll be here the next night, and we'll be able to break that down for you.
Score prediction. Nobody picks the games closer than we do. We had 38-35 last week.
Yeah, we had it close. We just thought Green Bay was going to win the game.
I think you're going to see a lower scoring game this week. The Falcons have a decent secondary. Jesse Bates back there, probably the best safety in the NFL. I think like 27-13 Eagles.
And I'll go 21-9 Eagles.
Yeah.
And it could end up 21-16, that late touchdown that's meaningless.
Yep.
We've seen that. The Eagles may get a field goal late, so 24-16, somewhere in there. But
yeah.
I think it's going to be close going into the fourth quarter, but then the Eagles will pull ahead.
I don't know what that was. I heard a buzzer, but I guess that means it's time for us to go.
That's. Are they going to use a buzzer in the debate coming up, or
I guess so. Yeah, maybe that's what it was. It was practicing.
Or they just turned the mic off, right?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I guess so. But yeah, enjoy it, everybody. Go check it out. See who you want to vote for.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. Hopefully, the Phillies, who are making a push here in the 8th, can get a run across, and then they can close this one out. Thank you, everyone who's joined us. Make sure you get your Planet Jerky, and if you're sending out an invitation for a party or anything upcoming holiday time, any invitations that are going out, Seal the Deal Wax Seals. Make your invitation stand out, and your party will stand out as well. We'll be back next week.
IE Sports Radio. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.